because I can sit here forever. Hi, everyone. Give me a moment. Just make sure. Oh, there we go. Hope you're doing well. This is a touch of tarot. I'm getting this feeling in my stomach. I think because I'm about to tune into the masculine energy. So that's why I had to take that gulp for a second. It's like very overwhelming feeling. I'm picking up the energy I picked up this morning. The song I woke up to, I Don't Want to Play No Games. Hi, Sandra. Thanks for being here. And I spoke of it earlier on. And I actually did a reading in the morning. But there's times when I just am not 100% feeling it. So I just hold it off. And maybe that message will be published another day. But I wanted to come on live. There was also a few things that happened. Hi, everyone. And since I'm on live, I'm going to talk about it quickly. So some, when you watch this in the end, will want to fast forward. Some of you, okay? So I woke up today hearing the message from the masculine energy. I don't want to play no games. It's a song. I don't even know the song. I still haven't looked it up. I don't know where I've heard it before, but it's like maybe in the radio in an Uber, because I know it's an up-to-date song and he's saying, "You got it, girl." But the part that I kept on hearing is, "I don't want to play no games." So that's one section there that's interesting, because when I was sitting here to get back into channeling the energy, the first card that popped out from this deck is to stay optimistic, but in reverse. And then I was like, so he wants you to stay optimistic, but then the card that was at the bottom is unrequited love. So he hasn't been showing you that, like telling you that, like he's not showing you love, but he expects you to stay optimistic. And I found that to be very interesting. But the fact that the message is, I don't want to play no games, it tells me that there is this heightened awareness that's coming through, or this new level that we're reaching in this journey. Okay, so now further down the road, I'm doing my day, doing readings. I'm finding that there's tons of energy out there. I don't know if you guys are picking up on it. I'm also trying to incorporate the littlest bit of exercise at any time I can. And I suggest you guys do that, because I'll tell you, even it started on Saturday, I started doing it. And all I did was lift up my leg randomly. And I am a healthy person who's very active and walks a lot. And I couldn't really hold my leg up that high or lift it up. Just standing there, just lifting one leg up. And I was like, what the heck is going on? And I actually felt heavy. So I started remembering when I was younger, I used to run everywhere, even if it was to the corner store, anywhere. Like I used to be have much more movement to me. So I'm suggesting you guys look into that, because some of us are a lot more heavier energy than we realize. And therefore, if we're in that type of an energetic field of heaviness and being weighed down, we're not it's like we're cemented, and we may not even realize it. I'm very angelic. I meditate pretty much daily. Like I wouldn't expect that. But the truth is, I felt it once I just tried to lift up my leg. And the other thing is, at that point, and from that point, I've done it quite a lot, and I'm getting much lighter, and I'm appreciating it more. So I am getting my energy moving. Okay, so that's another message. And the third message, I went to vote today because I did. So anyhow, when I went to vote, my address is different than on my ID. So it's a little bit of a big deal for 2 seconds, right? And kindness just gets you real far. So keep that in mind always. So I sat there with this lady, and for a second, she reminded me of my grandma, just like her politeness and her energy reminded me of my grandma. So I'm sitting there, and when I give her my birthday and I say the year, she says to me, "My twins were born that year." And I'm like, "They were? Like, you have twins?" And she said, "Yeah." She said they were born December 3rd, my year, which I guess I'm not really going to be announcing. I don't know. So anyhow, the point being is the fact that she actually, what are the chances? The people that work for these voting stations are volunteers. That's very random that happened. But trust me, there is a message in there for everyone. And I feel the fact that I saw her this year, like I'm just getting this whole vibe that December is a special month for many of us. Remember, we do have the eclipse full moon in December, and energies are very strong. Like even now, energies are so intense right now. It's unbelievable. So while I have a good few people on here, I would also like to mention I am just doing this random tarot deck because I feel that the tarot cards I'm using, at least, even though I have probably 100 plus decks, are not really answering all the questions we have. So if there's questions that you think tarot decks are missing, can you please just post it? Because I'll go through the comments after. Hopefully it's on here then, and I can see it. I'm not sure. I don't really, sometimes I know it doesn't show me the chat comments. So maybe at some point, if you think of a good question, I'm just going to print them out and put them on sheets of paper. For example, I'm picking up messages through music, and a question I came up with through a song I heard is, how do I feel after I lie to you? Like, I want to ask that question and then shuffle, because I think there's a lot of lying going on and we're not really, maybe some of us, like, maybe there's not a lot of lying, but there's underlying lies going on where there's just, you know what it is? It's not even a lie. And I heard like one of these famous Buddhist people said, even not telling something that's happening is a form of a lie. Okay, so that's what I mean. And that is the energy I mean in that. So like, for example, I want to ask that question, like, how do you feel when you lie? Like, how does that feel? Because I feel like I'm not lying. But anyhow, so I pulled out a whole bunch of new decks here. Well, decks we haven't used for a while, except for that one that came out like that. I was so shocked. I'm like, how am I picking up the one message, but seeing that clearly? Why are you, expected to stay optimistic during times of unrequited love? Well, what the lesson is that you need to learn to love yourself. How many other people are sick and tired of hearing that? And this is the thing. This is either like, it's just something that came to me that I never really had a clarified thought about before, is that because the masculines don't want to be responsible for your happiness. And I think a lot of the feminines understand that. We don't want them to be responsible for our happiness. We just want to touch someone, an actual human being that we feel that connection with. Because it's like, oh, well, go hug someone, or whatever someone might say. And it's like, don't play games. You understand what I'm talking about. When you don't want to just go hug some stranger or some guy that's very interested in you and treats you very well, but you have no feeling for them. You are not in denial. You are not, these masculines that have been able to do this for some of them. So that's interesting. Hi, who? How old is who? Anyhow. So yeah, when I saw those two cards, I'm just like, and sometimes I feel like I have to actually hang out with all my cards, like literally right before this, because I feel like some of them just want to piss me off. But then I'm like, no, Jen, it's the message. It's the message. But why? Why? Even I was pulling some cards today and I was like, don't be the unrequited, or no. I said, don't be the deception. I'm like, don't even. And there was another one. And then at the bottom, the deception. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, it's just like, are you kidding me? But there is deception in these relationships. Like I said, even if it's someone not telling you what's going on, just because you don't know about it and they didn't lie about it. Past life relationship. You have known each other before. This is what the masculine realizes. And when I was writing questions, I'm going to write on my new cards, and there's 100 cards to get. So I get to put 100 questions or comments on these cards. That's something that, because what came to me was to write, I know what a twin flame is. This is all happening as this is how I get messages sometimes. So it's like one of the messages, okay, thank you, Sandra. I don't know who that is. Let me just really deal with it quickly. And so I don't have to, I hope, see any more from someone there. Thank you. So when I'm sitting here, I was actually getting ready, putting this little, nice background. And I even like it more when I see that. I don't know why, it makes me in a better mood. So one of the questions I was told to, or statements I was told to write is, I understand what a twin flame is. And I'm like, no, you don't. But as I'm sitting here talking to you guys about it, it was like meant to be. So actually, and it makes a lot of sense because I actually got that message channeled to me. Like sometimes I need to literally have a voice recorder. And I don't remember it until I'm reminded like this. So anyhow, some of the divine masculines actually know what the terminology twin flame is. That's so weird. That's so weird. I don't know how they know, but they know. They know. And they do know, actually. One of my friends has turned into a divine masculine, and I'm going to get him on here. Like, he's our ideal divine masculine mentally, constantly like adjusting himself and publicly talking about it. He was talking about how he was at the market selling, like he's gone from like this bad boy to this really bad boy. Like I knew him from childhood, like 10 years ago, to this, he is masculine, like the divine masculine energy. He embodies it, and he corrected himself for when he hung out with his friends. He called some friends, and he has some like friends, you know, the boys. He got back into the old lingo where he called it racism. And you know how when guys are together, like whatever, the one colored person that's not whatever. Thank you, Paul. Thank you so much. You know, people not even make fun of him, but that's that guy or that's whatever guy. So anyways, he said, I just want to make a public apology. I learned that I actually still haven't even, you know, there's still things that I was doing. And he said, apologize to the person. He explained the story. There was like a kid there at the time that was mixed, and he felt really bad about his behavior. And anyhow, just even the fact to realize that, and he says he even checks, I think he used for the terminology, his boys who use words that disregard or disrespect women. He says he tells them now, like he's like, I am against that. And he's like, I feel so bad because I did that basically, but in the racist version. So I'm hoping to get him on here sometime or somewhere where we can talk to him and ask him, like, what is it like being so aware of everything, and ask him what he would feel about, if I don't even know if he knows twin flames. I bet you he does. I bet you he knows masculine, feminine energies and those words. His energy, I pay it up. So I would just like to know his opinion and just interview like a divine masculine who's really on the path to trying to make a difference. And he gives back everything he makes. He's giving back with, he also, you know, was able to establish himself in a spot before he became spiritual. So for, you know, people that say money is bad or whatever, there are a lot of people that once they become very wealthy, they actually do have an enlightening moment and they kind of downgrade and just start learning and living, you know? So I'm not saying everyone's able to do what this guy did, but this guy was able to do this somehow. And I'm just so proud of him. I'm like, wow, he was such a badass guy. Like out of the group, he was just one of the worst. And for him to be, it shows you a shift happens. Okay, shifts happen all the time. Maybe this is a time of like true awakening. Like maybe it's true, the impossible will be possible. Okay, so past life relationship. This person is quite aware. Obviously, he's quite aware of that. That's why I'm getting the message that he doesn't want to play games. Interestingly enough, where I stopped shuffling this deck is on the throat chakra. So, okay, it's going right along with what we're talking about, that this masculine wants to communicate and express himself. I'm reading, but I know it's not right. It's not there, but I keep on seeing it in a state of peace and balance. But that is not what's written there. So it's fucking with my eyes. What do we have? Oh. Okay. So anyhow, this is how I picked them up. I mean, whatever. Separation in reverse. It's still the separation card. It's still annoying, to be honest. But if there's a message there, and for some, it can say separation is not going to be forever. It's not going to last all that long. Having it in reverse is a little kind. And the forgiveness card, forgiving and learning, was in the upright. So I feel that what this is saying is during this time of separation, this is a period for healing from past experiences. And it's talking about living in the present. And now I have, the cards upright, except for the separation card. And it's about staying optimistic. A lot of people have to do self-love, childhood type of issues. I don't even know what that, I've done it and it's true. And I still probably have to do it too. Fuck. And I got this message too. And this is why I need to get a voice recorder. I think I got the message in today's earlier reading though. Yeah, I think that's where it was with the child, with the first card, the sun card. There's some childhood, we're hanging on to it. I guess we are. Anyhow, paying attention to the red flags. Okay. Breathe is what I'm telling myself right now. This deck, okay? And oh yeah, true love. Who cares right now? But this deck sometimes really tests me, but it's going along with what I'm saying, that there are childhood issues and pay attention to the red flags. But I'm just trying to stay optimistic as well as it talks about. And I just want some nice cards to come out. But here we go. We're talking about how people have lost optimism in this because there's no requited love or very little at the most. And I'm telling you, there's some sort of child issues for everyone. Everyone. It's not just him, not just her. It's everyone. Pay attention to the red flags. So maybe because I said that is a red flag for someone, and childhood regression is one way I've heard of people dealing with it. Sylvia actually mentioned that terminology to me. I just feel like you just need to freaking go and talk to your child's self, like in your heart, because that's where I'm getting the message from too. I want to post a video. If I can post this video, it's the most delicate, beautiful little video out there. Anyhow, it's a little girl and she's very wise and she's adopted. And she's talking to her adopted mother as though her mother would talk to her. And I felt this twin flame energy in the sense, like, what she was saying to the woman, it was like she was an adult and she was just like, you know what? You stole my heart. Like that type of stuff. And she's just 4 years old. And the mom is like, no insult, but she's like the girl's clearly much wiser or like mature emotionally than the mom. And the mom's just like, you're my little girl or whatever. She's happy too. But this little girl is just amazing. So that's, I realized, because that little girl's so smart, not everyone has that capability. And if you were like adopted or whatever, in childhood, abandoned in any way, it can really affect you. If that little girl is so smart, I was just like, if for a child to be turned the other way where they're sad and not so, like more withdrawn, that's a deep wound. So that's a deep wound. Some people have some really deep wounds that they have to heal. And that is important. That's an important message. Love yourself first and then the one comes in. But I mean, this could be the one who's here. It's not even about this could be the one. The main message in this card is that you've already met the person you're seeking. So you know who the person is. It's almost time to commit. For some people you haven't, or some people you committed and didn't commit, like uncommitted to the journey. It's almost time to just commit. Okay. So tell us more about this person who's saying he doesn't want to play any games, even though he's currently still in separation. Maybe we move to the next deck if it doesn't come out. Oh, well, that came out nice. Well, that's just talking about exactly what I'm saying. There's childhood issues here that have to be cleared for both the masculine and the feminine. Okay? I don't know why I lean over when the card's there. Anyhow, I have to stop that. It's weird. Now, let's go on to the next deck. So I understand this is going to be a trying reading because I was guided to bring the book for this deck and to pull from it. It's going to explain something, and maybe we're going to need the book for it. Tell us more about I don't want to play no games energy. What does that mean? Remembrance. Oh. Interesting. So this has to do with the memory of the past and everything that you've gone through, mind, body, and soul. And it provides you with valuable information. So this is about, I forget what the first card was. It was one in reverse. I don't know why I'm feeling like it's connected for some reason. But point being, this is about your masculine remembering. 38 is the number there that might be relevant to someone. Remembering the connection. And it's time to like take it in. He gets it. And it's that same energy. It's like he got communication, that same energy from the card that was there. It's like he got some communication, maybe from his inner guidance or from his guides, exterior guides, whatever, soul time here. It's like he's remembering past lives because it says remembering everything. Merkabah. The frequency of Merkabah supports our ability to use our consciousness to traverse into other layers of reality and dimensions. That's exactly what I'm saying about him actually remembering past lives. It activates our access to our Akashic inheritance as well, merging into totality of our experience into our present to serve our highest purpose. Wow, that's really deep. So there's like an inner knowing. It's like the masculines here have got a download, because I'm asking about the masculine that's saying he doesn't want to play no games, but still you're in separation and unrequited love. So whatever that's supposed to mean. Sorry, let me look up here. But we have the card here of remembrance and Merkabah, which I've heard people talk about, and I don't know much about Merkabah, to be honest with you. And if I do, I've just let it exit my mind because I choose what I want to hang on to in my mind. But this person has clearly gotten a download from the higher realms with the authority card here. And it's like they've sent him his records, which also include inheritance. And I feel like it's spiritual inheritance, or like inheritance in the way as he's going to get to be with his twin. This is really, and the reason that they did this is because it's time for this person to start the process of figuring this download out, to go and serve his highest purpose. But it's not just him. Trust me, if this is happening to him, this is happening to you. But in the sense, it's true. It's time to serve a higher purpose and to help people in one way or another. Even this guy I'm talking about that I want to get on this channel, him doing that and speaking publicly, even if he only has 100 followers, I don't know how many followers he has. He could have 500. I don't know. Point being, he has some big guys he hangs out with. That's a big step for them to see, like, oh, look who's the real man now. That's a big deal. And he might change people's attitudes. Not only that, he called out his own racism. And that is just joking around, right? He was just joking with his friend, like they've done since they were 8 years old. But he's like, no more. He's like, that's unacceptable. So there you go. So that's amazing. We're back to the soul time. So I'm going to stop there, which means it goes back to this remembrance energy. The frequency of soul time asks us to allow the possibility of a new reality to emerge. Are you kidding me? This is fucked, because that was the problem. Is like many of the masculines are so stuck in thinking in the old-fashioned way. I'm surprised we didn't get like some old-fashioned card out there. Of course not. That would be too logical. But they're stuck thinking in that old-fashioned way, and all this downloads and all this remembering and all of this information coming in to help with the highest purpose for all. And now we have the soul time card, which asks you to allow the possibility of a new reality to emerge, one that embraces the concept that, well, the corporeal body is mortal, okay? The soul is timeless, limitless, and infinite. This goes back once again to that past life shit. So, pardon my language, but that is beautiful. And we have the solar plexus chakra, which is my favorite chakra. Why? I don't really know, but I love it. And I think because when I first started learning about chakras, the person that taught me said that was like sexual energy. And I know people say it's the base chakra or whatever, but what this person said, because it's not really about sexual, it's about like the energy you have that makes you magnetic. And then people will be like, oh, it's not that. But I don't care. Ever since then, and it's about energy. Like from what I know, it's about actually having energy. So I've always just loved it. And it's yellow, and that's good. Fertility, healing. Okay. So let's move on. That download soul time stuff, that was the message from that deck for sure. So all is not what it seems to be right now. You know, this person, maybe, yeah, you are in separation, which I do believe isn't going to last long because that came in reverse. What are the chances that the girl at the voting booth said to me her twins were born the same year I was born? And it doesn't matter like that I was born. We're not all born in the same year. But it's just the fact that someone said that to me and told me their birthday, December 3rd. So that wasn't my birthday. Ooh, sorry, my oil. That's not my birthday, December 3rd, but her kids were born December 3rd, which tells me December 3rd is coming up. That's a big deal too. So I don't know what to think anymore because I'm like, what's December 3rd got to do with it? Something, I'll tell you that. And the funny thing is, I arrive in London on December 3rd. And anyone that wants to come hang out for a bit in San Francisco, Sylvia and I are doing readings, or you can do one-on-one. Doesn't matter. Up to you if you want. Contact me. I'll be out there. But I'm really excited about London. I have not been there, and I'm just super excited. And now, you know, December 3rd, I arrive. I leave December 2nd at nighttime and arrive December 3rd. Very interesting. Who knows what the frig is going to happen here? And I'm not just talking about me. If anything, I'm going to watch you guys make it because, you know, I'm a troublemaker sometimes, and not in a bad way, but it's like I'm no good for my own self. Like I just need to calm down sometimes, and at least I accept it, and I have accepted it because either the person that's with me is going to have to see the real me and deal with the real me, who's not a bad person whatsoever, a great person actually to deal with. But yeah, I'm a lot to handle. I don't know what to say. So anyhow, let's look at what the collective masculine, December 21st. It's another 3-day. Interesting. I don't know what's going to happen, guys. I feel like this whole London trip might be it might switch up. Count on me to be there for 1 day. Okay, I'm going to go to London. I'm going to arrive there. I'll stay there for 24 hours. So if anyone wants to see me, count on me being there for the 24 hours at this point. But I will let you know closer to the date. Interesting. See, I was guided to pull this deck, and I haven't used it for a long time. And then I was guided to get the book. And nothing has come out yet. We are going... Oh my gosh. Guys, oh my gosh. And guess what else? It came in the upright, but my deck is in reverse. So like it's a message for us. We're going to look at it. I'm actually going to read the other one that came out. This is a double 33. That's a master number. If I have... The only thing I have here with, number 3, luck, success, intuition, the divine principle. That's the only thing I have for chakras right there. Let's get into it. So the frequency of the solar plexus chakra, The yellow flower. Remember, for those of you that and now I'm just looking at where my music's playing. It's like the yellow cross. Yesterday, I was going to say I had that yellow flower. It's kind of dead now. I have a lot of yellow around me right now, guys. Actually, I have a lot. Frankincense, my yellow candle. Anyhow, interesting, my juice. Okay, so this is an important message for us all. Interesting. Okay, I don't even know what I was going to say because that's a lot of yellow. So now I'm like, what the frick is going on here? It supports your sense of self, your personal power, and your willpower, as well as your knowing of who you are and what your contribution is to the whole world. I don't know why I'm saying world, but to the whole. Interesting. Now let's read in the book. That is so... I can't believe that card came out after that long. Okay, where am I going to find? Here we go. 3. So the color yellow, the sound ram. So ram. Element fire. The glands are the pancreas and the adrenal glands. That's about, if your adrenal glands are not moving well or functioning, thanks so much for taking that person off. Sorry, let me just help this. I don't know if I have to. It's just I don't even want to see it. So it drives me crazy. But anyhow, adrenal glands. I'm saying that wrong. Adrenal glands. Why am I touching my thyroid? I don't know. But I do know your adrenal glands are a huge, very important part of your function for energy. So the key word for this is I can. The solar plexus chakra is located between the navel area and below the rib cage. It represents power, vitality, willpower, self-esteem, and confidence. The energy center where your emotions and feelings are recorded. Okay, let's just go back for a second. This chakra is associated with inner feelings. Hold on. That's why this is an important chakra. Okay, remember there's like some childhood issues people have to deal with. So it doesn't have to be, I don't know, it can be anything. I don't know what it is at all because I'm picturing even medical issues, even people that were in the hospital, they're holding on to fear or something like. So what it says there, it's where your emotions and feelings are recorded. When there's people that talk about past lives, or just the fact of your emotional body causing illness, stuff like that. So this is a huge connection. And remember, the vibe I was remembering about the child energy had to do with the reading this morning, the first card being the sun. And there was a child there. And so this is a big message. This isn't about just abuse or sure, for some, definitely. No disrespect whatsoever. But this is actually just about, I just saw medical, a child in a hospital. I don't know why, but I even had, when I was a child, I used to have my tonsils. I had them taken out twice. I had adenoids put in my ears or something, adenoids somewhere. Anyhow, point being, they poked at me. And when I think about it, I've always am apologizing to my body because I'm who knows what those weirdos were doing? And thank God my tonsils grew back and hopefully everything's good up there. But when I read that, this is talking about, feelings that are recorded, and it can be from past lives. For those of you that have watched Westworld, I think it is. That is an amazing series. I think it's on I don't know. I used to watch it when I watched TV. No more. So let's go back. This chakra is associated with clairsentience, inner feeling, which is the major psychic reception area. That is so interesting because that's one of the, I don't know what you call it, skills I have. And I found that out when I was younger because this, I don't know what type of doctor he was. He wasn't a regular doctor. He was a therapist, but a positive one, one you don't have problems with, you've reach goals with. But he actually told me there's like 3 different ones. It's like feeling, and I don't know what the other one's like, knowing and something else, but I had all 3 of them. But I remember when he said that. So that's a big deal. And you know what? People that have, it's been asked, can you die from a heartache? You can. And then someone was on here that's a nurse. And she said, yeah, like she had the medical term for it. You have heartache and like it shuts down the blood vessels. I don't know. Maybe she can say it again when she comes on again in the comments. But that's the type of thing that people with that energy have. And so if you had that from a young child, you may have taken on other people's pain, because chances are when you're around people, you'll feel their pain. And if you've done that since you're a child, well, you could have like plaque of like, I don't know, energy. That's just I don't know how to explain what I'm picking up with that message. And like, I'll tell you, cleansings will be good of many different types. To balance this chakra, you may want to try yoga, dance, and movement, or breath work with color. In addition, be aware of people who drain your energy. Workshops and classes that focus on empowerment will help you open and harmonize this area. Well, that's crazy. Yellow. I like it. Get some yellow stuff, I guess. I don't know what else to say. That was really crazy. Broken heart syndrome. Thank you. Yeah, that's what it's called. I'm pretty sure I almost had that when I was younger. My first heartache. I always tell you guys, my first like real heartache. And that was my kind of catalyst, but I didn't know about any of this stuff back then. And my arms would go so numb. I'm laughing at it now, but I stopped myself because I feel silly, but like, that's just something that happens when you have, I think it's just like, it doesn't matter if it's your true love or what, but like when you have your first heartache, and especially that person I really liked, like I thought I did, I was really young. So that was something I would feel, and I thought I was going to die. I'm like, oh my gosh, like my circulation, like I couldn't move. I was just very numbing too. Very odd. So I want to pull a card from here. Let's ask what your masculine would say. I guess there's messages at the bottom. Thank you for the donations. I got back to a few of you today and I sent you a little message. I had to go through my PayPal to see that. Like if I see it on my PayPal, I know your email so I can get back to you. So thank you so much. And I sent some affirmations to a few of you. I've just had so much energy to do readings lately. I love it. And I'm caught up pretty much, except for live readings, but you're booked and scheduled in. And if you're not scheduled in and for some reason I haven't sent a reading to you or something, message me because you're ready, or I'll schedule you in. So the whole purpose of this reading was, yes, to talk about this person that's saying they don't want to play games, but also to ask you to please send in what type of statements or questions you would have for your masculine. Because the way I'll word it for the cards I'm making is, I know you want to know this. Like, I know you want to know why I lie type of thing. So just like, what is the question you would have for them? And I'll reword it in the sense that it will make sense with the cards. I'm going to start them tonight because I just have the labels. I'm just going to print them out and put them on the cards. Real simple. Sometimes you just, I want to have my professional deck. I want to do that. Yeah, but if I'm not even going to make a little miniature one, who am I to be talking about a real deal one published? It's coming though. Okay, so this is actually an amazing affirmation. This is the 5 of Pentacles. A lot of times that for me, actually, in the traditional tarot, represents communication. It's something I picked up from the gypsies that I grew up with. I don't even know why they would always say that, but it always represented communication to us. Obviously now I'm doing my own, so I can expand it and say like the feeling left out in the cold or whatever that may be. It's different for every reading. But the one thing I always stick to and always have always thought is that's about communication. And the message here, which I would use for an affirmation for you guys, and I'm going to use it too, because this is something like my teacher would have told me to say. And I need to get back on my affirmations. I need to get back on a lot of my spiritual practices, like regular meditation. And I really guarantee if you listen to like the few things I tell you, for example, a half an hour when you wake up and a half an hour at night. And I know it seems ridiculous and you don't want to. I don't want to sometimes. But who the heck cannot take a half an hour out? And for many of us, I'm saying us, we expect our masculines to make time for us. Are we even making time for ourselves? And when I say making time for yourself, it usually involves doing something you kind of don't want to do. Like a whole half an hour sitting and meditating. And sometimes I do want to. Actually, the more I do it, the more I want to. But in the beginning, when I have to get myself back into it, I have to remind myself I'm worth a half an hour of calmness, of peace of mind. I'm worth it just to say I did it. I take an hour total a day. Not many people can say that. And I thought about that. I'm like, some people just can't even imagine taking a half an hour. So here's a great affirmation. I am supported and never alone. I am pretty sure the teacher who I paid thousands of dollars to work with, and he changed my life, by the way, he works online, if anyone was truly interested in this, and it was one of the best investments I ever did. I'm pretty sure that this is written in his program. So there's the message. I got it from this deck for, I don't know, 40, 50 bucks or something. Who knows what this deck was. But I am supported and never alone. If you say that all day, every day for like 24 hours, sometimes my teacher would give me no homework except I am lovable or I am loved, or like, that's it. The homework for the next 2 weeks is to say this over and over until you actually get it. And this type of a sentence is very powerful. I am supported and never alone. That has to deal with people that are worried that they can't make it in life. That's not what this card is about. But just from what I learned, that's like abandonment issues. And you're supported not by other people. You're actually supported by yourself and what you create. But you do have that power. You're never alone. You're never going to be, you can't think like that at least, okay? You can't, because even when I say it, the doubt comes creeping in. How do you know you're never going to be? No, you got to keep a focused mind that you're never going to be alone in the sense that you're homeless or broke or starving. You will be able to support yourself, and you always will be able to if you make an effort. And that is the truth. Because the only times that I truly wasn't doing well, I can't fully say that, because I'll tell you, there was a time I was trying to get a job everywhere. But you know what? Where the issue was, is the rest of my life wasn't in alignment with integrity. That was the thing. Like, I was out with my friends and I was out being sad and mopey and like drinking. So that's why they didn't give me the job. And when the time was right, they gave me the perfect job. So, it all goes together. When I say you have to make an effort, you have to make a whole effort. And the more wiser you are, the more challenging they'll make it. I knew better than to do some of the stuff I was doing. Even though I was looking for a job every day, it doesn't matter when you're going out to do no good after your job search. So, keep that in mind. And that's years ago, by the way. Carmelian. Get some Carmelian. I don't know what that is. Capricorn asked my question. Well, I'm glad you guys are hanging out. And thank you so much, Sandra, for taking off anyone. So follow your gut is a really good idea. Broken heart syndrome yet? Oh, you work at the hospital? Yeah, I hope people don't come in often with a broken heart. But even when people die, I'm seeing 441 now. It's a very good connection, spiritual connection number. Even when people die, though, you always hear, not always, but so many times you hear about their partner dying soon after. Well, wouldn't that be nice? Like, you kind of go together in a sense. You get to explore the next world together. I don't know. I think that's kind of nice and romantic, but I'm different. But I would probably do the same if I was with my person. Who knows when we're going to be with our person? I'm sorry, but like, I joked around the other day and sent him a message. There's like an old man emoji with a bald head and gray hair. And just an older look to him. And I sent it. I'm like, you're going to look like this by the next time we actually get to spend some real time together. And I know I shouldn't say stuff like that, but it was funny and I had to. And it was funny. So he laughed at it and I laughed at it. Rang me 2 days ago. I'm going to let you guys know I truly have to stop being in communication with my person. And thanks, Misty. I advise it for you too. The notes of hearts. I don't know what that is. But I do have to, I personally do feel that I should not be in communication with my person. I already told you the message I was guided. We have a good 3 months to clear some energy here and have a fresh new year. But it's hard not being in communication. And sometimes I'll tell you it's even harder the more you're not in communication, the more you want it. So I just want you to know I do recommend not to be in communication, to actually take a break. And this is something I have to do. It's extremely hard. But if you want change, you have to let go of the old. And it is the truth. The message that comes out here is the truth. Just because I don't follow it perfectly doesn't mean it's not the truth. It's the truth. I'm guaranteeing telling you that. I can't even explain it anymore. I even see it happen all the time. So, and a lot of people are going to be having karmics come back. And I think I've said that to you already. So never mind that the karmics coming back, no interest, I'm sure, but your own karmic, right? But take a look at them because they're going to be different. People are changing. It's interesting. I'm wondering how many, we have an age difference. You have an age difference. He blocked you twice, huh? Been waiting 10 months. That's not much. Thanks, Kelly. Hi, that's nice. Still waiting to meet him. Wow. I don't know what to say about that because I didn't wait to meet this person. In fact, I would never have expected him to come into my life when he did. I had just ended a relationship. So that I got the voice that said, you got to go from this guy. But I see why they said I got to go because I have this whole other journey to live. And the journey is not short. So thank you for starting me 18 months ago on this. I actually started with the false person. But anyhow, yeah, I don't know. I'm happy. I'm happy I didn't know about this stuff until it actually happened. Because otherwise, I probably would have been searching for years. It's as soon as I found out I was with the false person, someone who wasn't the one for me, even though I thought they were, is as soon as I met my twin. So that's pretty interesting. And literally a week later, and I'm not that person to ever move on like that, ever. I've gone years without dating. So the last thing I ever expected, and I didn't even believe it in the beginning. I'm like, yeah, right. I don't like him. I remember saying that to myself. Yeah, right. I don't like him. Why would I even say that to myself? Because I liked him. So, and he was not my type in any way. Now I can't imagine my life without him. So it's weird. And, I tell you guys, I'm not against moving on. Not at all. I'm not against it. If I met someone that I actually, truly wanted to be with, otherwise I'm really happy alone. I really am. It's better than being with someone I don't want to be with. I don't want to be alone. I'm not lying. I do not want to be alone. And I don't want an animal. I already had a dog. I don't want to pick up dog poo. And I just had the dog. I was dog sitting. And so I got the double message that I don't want a dog. Okay. But I'll dog sit. That was an experience. And he was really nice. But yeah, I don't want to be alone, but I will not be with the wrong person. I don't give a damn. I'm just not. I've been with the wrong person already, so I know what it feels like. I already know it's disgusting. That's the best way to put it. When you really put it in, and even if you weren't sexual, have you ever hugged the wrong person that you're trying to, Even someone who was actually a great guy, but I didn't want to be with, was the wrong person. And I remember even hugging him. We were dating. We dated for like a good 2 months because I tried to give it a chance somehow, but I couldn't kiss him. I couldn't hug him. And he brought it up to me. He's like, I can't keep on. I'm not even going to say what he said, because the thing is he treated me really well. So I was really trying to like him, but like, he was into cooking like me. Okay. So we liked food and we ate food, and yeah, but he realized, like, he's like, you know, we can't just do the same old fun stuff all the time and then like no hugging and no kissing. And I'm like, I was like, I know, I get it. So yeah, but I tried. You know, poor guy, blah, blah, like whatever to him. He did like me and I get it, but he wasn't the one for me, and he really didn't do much with his life anyways. So we would never have lasted, because I'm not one to hang out with someone that isn't ambitious. I need that, right? So if someone is, I've always been around people that are very ambitious and actually do stuff. They are not sitting at home ever. And I don't know why I need that. I'm not going to say it's the best thing. I think it's because of my father. So there's my fatherhood issues. He was always up very early in the morning, dressed, ready to, like, he was a businessman. He didn't work for a company. He had his own business, but still took his own business very seriously. And that seems to be every guy I've dated. I've never dated a 9-to-5. I just haven't. I've dated like a guy who works 24 hours nonstop. I always get that. And then I have the same issue too sometimes, but then I really crash. I can crash. Some of these men in this world, they seem to not crash yet. Who knows what will happen? But, you know, and now, like, I don't know. I don't want someone that doesn't have ambition. Like, so I don't know if it's ambition, if that's the word I'm looking for, but like I want someone who wants stuff, and not about material, like to do stuff, just to have a goal. Even if the goal is to start an organization, like I just want someone that wants stuff, because no matter what, as long as you have a goal, you will be reimbursed. And that's the truth. And I learned that many times around, but one time I'll never forget. For months, I put energy into, when I was a realtor, every morning, freaking getting to the office 7 a.m, getting everything ready, annoying people and calling them at like 8:30. And I'm not joking, because they used to tell us in training that people want conversations at 8 a.m. I know it's funny now when I look at it, but I was like, okay, like they're saying this, they must know what they're talking about. So I would get there first in the office and call these people. And I was trying to find a school, a Montessori school, very specific, right? So I'm calling all these schools, and there's a lot more than you would think. Anyhow, point being, I didn't sell a school. I didn't get the school. The people ended up backing out, whatever. But as soon as that was over, I started making money, and I started getting business all of a sudden out of nowhere. It wasn't out of nowhere. Someone in the office had said, if you want to work with me, I'll split you 50-50. And he was like a tech expert. So somehow he was able to get all these leads that were real leads, and it was amazing. So I was splitting 50%, and I had no problem with that, because better than making zero. And we made some good money. So point being, I feel like the energy I had put in, it was still rewarded. And I was there every day putting in an honest effort. And I was actually like getting to know the clients, because you're calling them all the time. So you kind of know their business and their energy, and, you know, like, hey, how you doing today? Anything, like, you changing your mind yet about this? Because a lot of them wanted to leave the business that they were in, but they just weren't there. So anyhow, yeah, you will be rewarded. Just have ambition and have a goal, and things will come your way if you take the actions towards it. That's all. Just like I went to school and I ended up getting a grant, and, you know, they didn't have to give me a grant. I wasn't from the city that they were giving them to. They knew that. I was selling CBD, which was very controversial. They knew that too. But they liked my effort. And that's what she said to me. She was like, the reason we're giving this to you, I got the last grant out of the group. And she's like, the reason we chose you, because there's other people that have been here longer and that, you know, probably deserve it more, is because you kept on trying. And she brought up the point that, like, I didn't have business cards, but I made temporary ones, or like whatever I had. I just did what I could do right away. Just like I'm going to make the tarot deck right now. I'm going to literally paste labels on cards right now and make a tarot deck, because I'm sick of waiting for everyone to collaborate to make me my professional tarot deck. So I'm just going to make my own for now, and I'll paint my own pictures on it one day on the back. So point being, putting effort in. I have had this proven to me. You will get a reward in the end. Just like starting my tarot channel, I was always on there and I enjoyed it. That's another thing. You have to enjoy it. And I enjoyed it, and I was on there, and I never really expected to even have this many people now. So it's not that it's a huge amount, but it is a huge amount. I don't have any other spot where I have that many subscribers that, you know, occasionally watch. So it's really interesting. Just keep putting an effort in and you will get what you want. I'm not saying, like, I just paused myself. See how things are so contradictory? I'm not saying that about the relationship. But yeah, you do have to put some form of an effort. But I'm talking business there. So I'm not saying like call 10 times a day and, you know, do that and or whatever. Like send them flowers. No. Calm that side down. That side's a little different. That side, no. I'm not talking about that right now. But yeah, guys. Okay. So anyhow, I'm going to go. Just because I can just talk forever sometimes. But great stuff is coming out here. So I'm happy I got this info out. And yeah, if you have a question that I can put on the deck, there's 100 cards and there's 100 labels, and I am prepared to use every single one of them. I've made some categories, you know, about how they feel when they lie. So there'll be different statements about that, and about the fact that they don't want to play games, and when they knew you were the one, like that type of section, I guess we could say, and not used to these type of feelings. So that type of a section where the energy will be about how they feel and how they're not used to it, because they're not. This is another message I got. I'm going to say quickly is that when I say that feeling thing, the message I got is that a lot of the people, your persons, your special person, it's like the person they had, the catalyst or the karmic or whatever you want to call them, they served a huge purpose, because at the time they thought that was love. They didn't know what love was, plain and simple. And it's really good that they had that experience with that other person. It was an imaginary love. Like they had no idea what real love was until they met you. And that is why it's taken them aback, because they're just like, it's crazy. And I was even picking up like different statements, but like, basically, this feels so overwhelming. Is this even healthy type of messages is what because they were for my cards actually. So the thing the message they were getting to me is just that like, this actually doesn't feel blissful. It feels intense. It feels way more powerful than I am, you know, or that they are, that they can handle. Is this even normal? To wake up and think about someone and think about them all day long and think about them before you go to bed. Like, so that's very intense. And the persons that they were with before, they didn't have that intensity with. So they served a purpose for us, really, because they got to live the fake side, and, you know, then they get to see the real side. If they take that leap, it's up to them, you know. But I had that message too. So that's that last message. I got to start getting a video recorder. Anyhow, thanks everyone. Bye for now. And thank you for all the likes and everyone and anyone and all of you. I think that's a good way to end it. Everyone, anyone, and all of you. Thank you. There we go.